Okay, good evening.
Got our new attorney? Our new attorney?
No, they're all mixed. They're mixed into the council.
Okay, we're going to start this Edinburgh Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors regular meeting to order. Today is May 29th, 2018. Time is 6 o'clock. We do have a quorum. We have myself, Gilbert Enriquez. We have Mayor Molina. We have Councilman Salinas and Councilman Torres. We also have Mr. Farias here as well. Mr. Trevino, certification of public notice.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, I'm confirming that notice was posted in accordance to Texas Open Meetings Act.
Thank you, sir. All right, we're going to move to item number 3. We have consider approval of Board of Directors minutes for the April 24, 2018 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
We have a motion by Mayor Molina.
Second.
We have a second by Councilman Torres. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item approved. Item number 4, discuss and consider authorizing the Executive Director to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the South Texas College, South Texas Health Systems, and Texas Workforce Commission regarding a workforce training grant. Mr. Trevino.
Mr. President, Board of Directors, thank you. Just wanted to bring this before the board to get authorization to start the initial memorandum of understanding with the entities that was listed. And that would be South Texas College, South Texas Health System, and Texas Workforce Commission. In the past couple of weeks, we've been working with all the entities and trying to develop a job training program here in Edinburgh. I've been working real closely with Dr. Carlos Margo. He's with STC. And Carlos, you want to come up and help me kick off this teamwork that we're proposing and give the board an idea of what we're thinking about?
Well, thank you, Mr. Trevino, Mayor, and members of the Board of Directors. Thank you for having me here today. And what I've been working on with Mr. Trevino is an initiative that will help business and industry here in Edinburgh by providing and taking advantage of state dollars by way of the Skills Development Fund, among others. Another grant is the Skills for Small Business grant. And this is something that South Texas College has been providing for over 20 years, and that's workforce training to business and industry, in addition to the community-based programs that we have in our associate and degree programs. So we offer an array of over 500 training programs that can be customized specifically to business and industry. We work with our partners. In this case, one would be Edinburgh, the City of Edinburgh, and Edinburgh EDC, who would facilitate further partnering with business and industry such as hospitals, manufacturing companies such as Nuco Steel, who's here and has presented us a letter of commitment already, and other organizations and school districts as well, who can participate with us in other activities such as the Youth Apprenticeship Program. These Youth Apprenticeship Programs have been proven to be one of the most effective ways to train and educate the youth and to get them into industry well prepared and to have them maintain their employment in industry. So this is just a snippet of what we have to offer, but I am very grateful that Mr. Trevino has approached me and has engaged in an assertive manner, something that will give us an ability to work together in partnership that will help the business community benefit. What I have here is a working draft that is of our memorandum of understanding between the STC and Edinburgh EDC. Of course, it can be considered and modified accordingly, but if I could, let me just read a couple of the roles and responsibilities of South Texas College if I have another couple of minutes. So,
Yes, sir.
just to give you the EDC an example.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Do you have copies of that by any chance?
I have just one.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. First of all is to designate a location here in Edinburgh where STC could provide training to local business and industry. Designate at least one staff member at STC who who will coordinate and manage all matters related to the STC Edinburgh EDC partnership, and recognize an STC partnership by incorporating the EDC name along with the EDC logo in select STC marketing material and media, and to provide portable equipment and training material and other resources necessary to a training center to be designated by Edinburgh EDC as needed for training. Our goal here is to facilitate training for the residents and the business community of Edinburgh, and this is, I think, a start in the right direction, and I appreciate you considering this MOU, and look forward to working with the members and the business community of Edinburgh.
So,
Are there any questions you may have regarding this? I know this is just the
Yeah.
beginning, but we do have,
so there hasn't been any parameters established, correct?
No, this
As of
is,
right now, it's just a blank piece of paper that we're gonna formulate what training would be best utilized for the city of Edinburgh.
correct, yeah, absolutely. Nothing has
So,
been decided upon yet.
So we haven't decided on what type of individual applicants we'll be receiving, if it'll be high school students, if it would be college students, if it would be careered people, you know, trying to change careers. We haven't established that criteria yet.
No, we haven't established, but it is an opportunity for all of the above that you mentioned.
Okay, so that grant that you're referring to, there's no limitations on where the money could be used or how it could be used?
There are limitations, however, it is open to essentially all private industry, private companies who are in the state of Texas, and that would be whether they're considered small business, 99 employees or less, by definition by the Texas Workforce Commission. They have certain grants specifically for those companies, and then you have other grants for larger companies. So limitations, of course, would be industry has to be in good standing with the state. Employees have to be full-time employees. And there are other programs that'll target individuals who perhaps are not working. And those are other grants that are not yet discussed or mentioned. But as far as what you're talking about, the Skills Development Fund grants, it has very few limitations. It's wide open to most, if not all, employees whose employers are in good standing with the state.
And typically, how much do they usually grant? Like, what's the average of the grant?
On average, the employees would receive, or the employers, that would receive approximately $1,800 to $2,200 worth of training per year per individual. And that training is through South Texas College, and $2,000 worth of training at STC goes a long ways. That's about 4, 5, 6 training courses.
Okay.
So they'd be eligible at no cost to the employer or the employee.
And so, who would apply for these grants? Would you be the administrator of the grant, the STC, or would the city of Edinburgh, the EDC be the administrator of the grant?
For Skills Development Fund grants, South Texas College would be the fiscal agent and the grant recipient in partnership with a local private business. It has to be with a partner company. So if it's one company or a consortium of companies, we can partner with either. And what we could do also is partner with Edinburgh beyond that as well, to have perhaps other partnerships that'll serve in other capacities aside from the Skills Development Fund.
Okay, so just so I can understand, so the grant won't be with the EDC. The grant will be between South Texas College and the employer.
That's right.
Okay, so basically what we would do is we'll be the facilitator. We'd be the one that providing the location, the training location, and what else?
And kind of what Mr. Trevino has been doing so far is getting South Texas College together with industry and the partners, and establishing that rapport and relationship. Okay. So it's facilitation. You mentioned that's the key word. It's facilitating the entire process, because we don't know the industry here. We don't know the business partners. I mean, we would like to, but we need the EDC to be able to get to that point.
Okay, great. Good.
One other thing we would like to facilitate is the other grant that Workforce Commission has is the relocation grant, that they're looking from other states to bring companies in that we would like to help sponsor and identify that we do have a trained workforce in those specific areas of expertise that they're looking to come move. Other opportunities with Workforce Commission that we try to go after.
But that would be through Texas Workforce?
Yeah, I mean, as far as, that's the money we would
that would
go
be the
through.
funding, right?
But
The funding
STC
source.
would help us train
Okay.
those individuals where the need is coming from.
So basically what you're saying is we would have 3 funding sources if all possible, which would be South Texas College, Texas Workforce Commission, and/or South Texas Health Systems if
they agree.
if they wanted to donate or contribute to the training program.
Correct. Or any other industry that wants to participate.
Okay.
Doctor, my only question, do you have similar programs like this anywhere else, or are
Yes, we do.
first? You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've been doing this for over 22 years and
Okay,
working
good.
with local business and industry. We've done some training here for, very similar through the Skills Development Fund with a few companies here in Edinburgh in the past. So we do have a track record, limited, but we do have a,
We want to mirror the successful ones, so yeah, bring us what you have, okay?
What, have you had, going back to what Councilman Torres was alluding to, have you had partnerships with other EDCs,
yes.
and which locally here?
McAllen
McAllen?
EDC.
Okay.
We've had a long-standing partnership with McAllen EDC. We actually participate in their HAPS and sales tax grant program, where it's a competitive grant that they provide to organizations. And with those funds, we've been able to provide workforce training or offset the cost of tuition and fees for McAllen businesses. Mainly, in this case, manufacturing or manufacturing-related, produce-related as well.
Right.
So yes, that's a unique partnership with McAllen EDC. We have other partnerships with, for example, with FAR that don't have any financial commitments at this point, but it's still a relationship that provides us access to their business and industry. Westlaco as well. And that's something that I've been wanting to provide also with the City of Edinburgh, is to make sure that the business and industry here has access to the wealth of resources that we have.
Right.
Workforce training is, we train about 15, almost 20,000 duplicated trainees per year, and that's quite a big number. A lot of those are existing incumbent workers that receive training, and I would say 90% of which is grant funded. State provides most of the funding. Employers don't have to pay, and it offsets our expenses. So it's a great opportunity, and I really appreciate the city and EDC reaching out and working to get this, gain a little more traction over here.
Carlos,
Yes.
I have a question. Are you the designated go-to person? Let's say that, somebody reaches out to a board member and they want for, hey, I want to see what type of training that they have to offer. Are you the contact person so that we can basically say, hey, Carlos is the guy that you contact for the training specifically, or are you going to be working with a team of other people from STC?
It would be me. To answer your question, I would gladly be your main point of contact. Then I would work with my team to make sure we disseminate the right information to the right people. But I do work with a very good team, staff, that helps me, and we're all on the same page when it comes to that. So, but gladly, you have my cell phone. If I need to be the main primary point of contact, I would actually encourage that. That way I know who exactly on staff because able to require staff working with the businesses if they want to see either a list of courses, descriptions, or if they need to sign up, we'll have somebody come over and bring the appropriate documentation, paperwork, et cetera. But sure, for now, or until as needed, I can be your point of contact.
And the next question that I have for you is, I know that, we've done other things before with the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley, and your institution is growing extremely fast. And I remember the conversation that we had when we were upstairs. You had said that there really hadn't been a partnership between either the city and the EDC and STC. Is that correct? Previously to...
Right. Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. I mean, I know the university is here, obviously based here in Edinburgh, but we at STC would fill perhaps a niche that goes unfilled because of the university and their strengths. But we have, of course, the workforce training expertise that we could help fill those gaps. But to answer your question, yes, I have had limited success in partnering with the city in the past.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you on board, and really it means a lot to us that we've made another relationship that's going to help our community. And we thank you, Carlos, for your persistence in coming up here and doing the presentation and letting us know what you all have to offer. It's just giving us another option to help our local businesses.
Well, on the contrary, I thank you and EDC board for your time and attention.
Okay, I have a couple of questions real quick.
Sure.
So the grant amount is what again? Typically, average? You said 1,800 is about 2,200?
Well, that's per individual. Just for
Right.
a typical, let's just say a company that with 100 employees would on average get up to $500,000 per year worth of training, but that's not 100% goes to training. It goes to administration of the training to SDC as well. So that's about the grant amount per company if they're at least about 100 employees. Just to give you some ballpark figures on average. And now if it's a company with fewer employees, of course, the grant amount would typically smaller. So training, actual, just direct training, it's about $2,000 worth of training per year per individual.
And then you said that that amount would cover about how many courses?
About 5 to 6, depending.
And how many hours does that accumulate?
That could be about approximately 120 hours worth of training.
So 120 hours per course, basically.
Clock hours.
Clock hours.
Right.
Okay, good.
Per year. And that's actual, clock hours. And, it depends. A course could be OSHA, and that's, OSHA 10 is 10 hours. That's one course. Yet it could be welding, is a 96-hour course. So it just depends on, the hours
Right.
depend on the number, or the number of courses, rather, depends on what courses they take.
Right, but regardless of what the course is, after the end of that course, that student, that applicant is certified in that field. Whatever training it is that he took, if it's a 10-hour OSHA class, he receives a certification at the end of that course, correct?
Many of our programs result in certifications like these OSHA, because we're accredited to offer these credentials. Some, such as Microsoft Excel, others, such as just Office in general. We don't give any type of Microsoft certification per se, but we do give them a certificate of completion, and that's what they have received when they take a very universal course like a Microsoft Excel, for example.
Okay. So what if it's a welding course?
We will provide them with a locally industry-recognized certification. However, we will not provide them with the external certification, which they are typically required to do once they start working at an employer. Even if we were to provide them with that welding certification, the employer is still going to ask them to get certified at their company.
Right. So that was going to lead to my next question. So when you have a student or an applicant that passes that course, okay, completes that course and receives either that certification or that certificate of completion,
Right.
who monitors that student that he's able to go and get a good paying job? Like if I'm the employer and I have a steel company and I need a certified welder, but yet he completed the course but he's not certified, so I'm not able to hire him. How do we get him that, since he finished the course, he received a grant, how do we get him to that second base? How do we get him to be able to earn $25 an hour versus a helper at $8 an hour or $10 an hour?
Well, there's two different ways. One is to have him or her continue their education, come back and receive more training. As they continue working at the company, they'll learn more. They can come and get continuous improvement type of training, which what we call. The other one is we can facilitate the process of having them get AWS certified, American Welding Society. That's an external certification, but we can facilitate the process, get them prepared for the testing, and do everything we possibly can here locally in order for them to get certified by a third party. Same thing with other, like air conditioning, HVAC. We can get them all the way to the point where they have all the knowledge, skills, and abilities. We can give them a crash course in the test, but it's up to them to go and take the test with a third party, which we cannot do at the college, but we can do everything possible to get them ready for that.
Right.
That's our role as well.
Okay.
And we can follow them. I mean, our goal is to have these individuals work and get paid well.
Right.
And so we will not just let them go and
So
forget
once
about
they
them.
complete the course, you continue to monitor them. You can ask them, hey, come back, do the second part of the course or continuing education course. Are they able to apply for a grant for the continuing ed courses
Yes.
as well?
Right.
Okay.
No, some of these companies, all there is a 6-month waiting period. Once a company finishes with a Skills Development Fund grant, they're typically 12 months, they can apply for it again after 6 months of not having the grant. So those same individuals would typically come back to us and receive another round of training at a higher level, middle skill, higher skill level of training. So we see a lot of these individuals returning, whether in the same grant or in a future grant. And a lot of it depends on the employer too, whether or not they send them or let them go to training. Most of the employers do. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity to have these individuals continue. They just, like I said, most of them are new employees working at companies. and a lot of them, other ones are already been working at the company.
Yeah.
So they're there. They don't go away.
Right. One of the things that I would like to see is for us to monitor these students that receive the grants. Make sure that they complete as many courses as they can, so when they do go out in the workforce, that they're able to earn a good living. You know, we don't want them to complete 1 or 2 courses and still they're making $8 an hour. You know, I mean, that defeats the whole purpose of them going to school and obtaining
Well-
an education and certification, you know. So that's one of the things that I'm going to implore you to make sure that, you know, if we follow through and we make sure that these students are getting the education that they need so they can obtain a good certification and a good living wage. You know, that's
Yes.
important.
And you know what, the skills development, the Texas Workforce Commission rather, does have that as a stipulation. They will only accept individuals who are earning at least at a prevailing wage. They encourage wage increases upon completion of training, and they also ask for a 90-day retention of these employees upon completion of training. So we, as a college, as a fiscal agent, we contract with the state. We need to make sure that these individuals, at the completion of the training, are employed at the company at least 90 days after training. If not, then we are in non-compliance with the state. So that's already something along the lines, maybe not as broad as what you just said, but nonetheless, there is some embedded incentives like that
Okay.
statewide. I mean, that's just something that the state requires.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you very much.
Okay. Do I have a motion to authorize the executive director to enter into the MOU?
Motion to approve the MOU, authorize.
We have a motion by Councilman Torres,
Second?
second by Councilman Salinas. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item approved. Item number 5, discuss and consider authorizing the executive director to enter into an agreement for accounting services for the Edinburgh EDC. Mr. Trevino?
President, members of the board, previously, the EDC has contracted outsourced our accounting services to reconcile all our budgets and review our bank statements and prepare our financial monthly statements and come before the board on a quarterly basis and we have not had that service since, I believe, January. The accountant that was with us is quit and done other things. So I've called Chris Varial. He's a CPA out of Christian, and he's here he has sent us a letter of engagement to help us get to that point where he's helping us prepare our monthly financials in accordance to our bylaws and present that to the board in a quarterly fashion. But Chris is here, and I would like to recommend that we engage him. There's an engagement letter there provided for you too. But he does have the experience, and wanted to introduce him and approval from the board to approve his engagement letter.
Can you come to the podium, Mr. Vidal, so on camera everybody can see you?
Gonna do a 35-minute presentation, was that?
35 minutes, Chris?
Sure. Hello, my name is Christian Riviera, and I'm out of Harlingen, CPA. Been licensed since 2001. I have worked with other nonprofits before, and also work with governmental agencies. And I'm here to help with the board provide monthly information or quarterly information. I'll be here on a monthly basis, help the finance director with the accounting entries, and I'm on your side, so to help you with any kind of questions you may have.
Any questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Where's your office at?
Harlingen.
Burlington, okay. Would you, no fault of ours that you live there, or that your office is there. But
You didn't
I
find that
have
humorous?
an issue with the reimbursement for the mileage expense. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to put you in a bad spot or trying to get a freebie there, but would you consider taking away the reimbursement for mileage expense?
Possibly. I mean, I would like to know the reasons why. I mean, if we're going to come over here every single day.
No, I don't think you're going to, or Joe, are we going to
No.
need them every single day?
For one, I believe in technology.
Okay.
I believe in, doing a screen share, utilizing TeamViewer or what have you. I mean, technology is available where I can see maybe Nelda's computer. I mean, I believe I'm going to be discussing with Nelda a lot as far as the accounting entries, talking with Joey as far as this is what the financials look like and how we're going to approach the discussion of it. So I think the only time I'm going to be coming over here is maybe the initial time. I plan to come here maybe in 2 weeks after the end of this month to reconcile the books with Nelda. And, but I don't really see coming over here maybe just for the board meetings at all.
Basis.
I mean, I can waive the mileage reimbursement fee if that's what you want. I'm okay with it.
Okay, just asking.
All right, any questions?
Yes, Joey, prior to going to this engagement letter and doing business, how were we doing it before? Who was reconciling? Who was doing checks and balances? Who was making sure that things were being done properly, or was that all done in-house?
No, it was, we had an outside accountant.
Okay, but did you have two different people looking at this as far as, making sure that things were in order, or was it?
Yes, it'll be in staff and Mr. Villarreal.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, and then in the accountant.
okay, but I just want to make sure there's checks and balances.
Yes,
I just want to make sure that we have somebody overseeing.
Well, from my understanding, Nelda's going to be doing the reconciliation, but I will be here to assist in making sure that the reconciliation reports are accurate. And because it's my understanding, I will present the financials to the board.
Okay,
So since I'm presenting the financials to the board, I'm going to do my own little checklist to make sure things are in
Okay.
order.
and when you do the financials to the board, as far as I'm concerned, I would like detail. I would like to know where we're at, what are, even down to the point of, okay, we have these leases, this is how long we've had them, this is our payments, these are behind 4 or 5 months, these are ahead, these are, something detailed showing where we're at. Will you be able to do that?
Well, there's a lot of intricacies in as far as an organization, like such as leases. First and foremost, I believe in presenting the statement of cash receipts and disbursements and cash balances and matching that against the budget. So that way you can see what we're doing actual versus what we have planned to do. Then, as a supplementary report, we can talk about the leases, we can talk about the bonds and the...
And the reason why I'm talking about the leases is that's part of our budget. That's what
Yeah.
we're expecting to come in. for
Yeah,
that
the lease
particular year.
revenue.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, like, as far as, so when that starts not happening, then that's going to give us.
Well, you're going to have the budget,
Okay.
and we're going to match ourselves against the budget. So when you see a downfall, we're also going to have like a line item of where we at as a percentage to the budget too.
Okay,
So from a bird's eye perspective, you're going to have a landscape view of month to month of the lease revenue on the top line, okay? And then you may see the ups and down if there's any kind of fluctuation. It should be constant.
and really, I like to see like a gas field, like a gas tank,
Yes.
Here we are at full, and we're not going to hit it empty till 12 months after.
Yes.
We start hitting it empty at 6 months, I want to know why.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, we don't want to just create a budget and not
Yeah.
follow it.
And
So-
we'll get into details and all that. I think at the first month, I want to learn the process a little bit. We're going to present the financials as you want to see them. And the supplementary reports, as we get comfortable with each other, then we get more details of what you really want. Like,
Okay.
for example, with the lease payments and the long-term liabilities. I think the long-term liabilities are very important too.
Yes, sir.
And if there's any other reports that as we move along, I will be more than happy to formulate those so we can talk about those in the meetings. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir, thank you.
Okay.
The very minimum, we want to adhere to GAAP. I mean, that's the very minimum.
Yes.
Now, once we do that, then we'll establish how we want to see those reports.
Okay, so you
Okay,
want the,
so-
you want the monthly financials, not in the statement of cash receipts and disbursements, you want it in GAAP basis on a monthly,
Well,
present to the board?
whatever this gentleman here
Yes,
is gonna wanna use it, because he's the one
Okay.
that's gonna be seeing them every month.
okay,
I mean, we get to see him every month, but
Yeah.
he's gonna be operating on a daily basis.
yes,
So however he wants it, my thing is that we follow
GAAP
the
basis.
rules, the GAAP
Yeah.
rules, and we make sure that everything is administered through
GASB.
that, right? So all the principles of the GAAP, that's what we're gonna follow
Sure.
at the minimum. And then any other kind of deviations or additions or upgrades, that's gonna be based on our executive
Okay.
director and our staff. One of the things that I would also like to see on those lease agreements and any agreements that we have that are lease purchase, that we have a current amortization schedule
okay.
on all of them.
On the long-term liabilities?
On the long-term liability,
Yes.
so we can know if the amortization schedule that we had previously is
Yes.
actually correct.
Okay,
Because a lot of them that we saw initially, they just didn't make any sense.
Okay.
So those are the things that we're gonna have,
that'll
we're
be
gonna
my first,
task you
that'll be
to
one of my
do.
first objectives, because on the balance sheet, that's the biggest piece of the puzzle,
Right.
of the pie, and definitely,
Right.
we'll be looking at those
We wanna
amortization
make sure that
schedules.
we're receiving all the
Okay.
interest that we should be receiving and all the principal that we should be receiving, so.
Okay.
And of course, any fees and late fees and typically, whatever agreement.
The notes
terms of those
receivables and the
agreements
notes, and the notes payable.
are. Right, so, it's important that you review everything that we've had. It's gonna be probably cumbersome for you at the initial stage, because there's a lot of things that weren't done the way they should have been done. And so it's important that you get your feet wet and you understand how we want things, because basically we want to be as transparent as possible with the tax dollars, and we want our taxpayers to know exactly where every dollar is going.
I definitely understand.
Right. So
As a CPA, I do believe in integrity.
Right, so that's very important that every taxpayer, when they look at a financial, that they're seeing exactly where the money's going.
Okay.
Not hidden in a fund or in an account of somewhere, or a note down at the bottom. We want to be as transparent as possible where
Okay.
all the money is going. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Just FYI.
Yes, sir.
All right. Any other questions?
Perial, I see that your community involvement, you have some good stuff here. You're involved in some very important boards, Spaceport Development Board. And even though you're a Rotarian, you have a bunch of lions up here. And I'll go ahead and motion to
Thank you.
your services.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Torres, a second by Councilman Salinas. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Welcome aboard. Mr.
Thank you.
Vidal.
And that's not a SpaceX board, that's Cameron County Spaceport Development Board,
Spaceport Development, okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Did I read it?
although we work with SpaceX.
You notice that he let us take the vote first before he...
Thank you.
Thank you.
Joey was telling me earlier that 10,000 people are moving from the Harlingen area out this way. So with you two moving to Edinburgh, it'll be 10,001 and 10,002.
Well, that's great. That'll cut the mileage reimbursement fee. Thank you.
All right. Item number, what? Item number 6, discuss and consider adopting the small business renovation improvements policy for the Edinburgh Economic Development Corporation. Mr. Trevino?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. Mr. President, members of the board, we've been going through this. Hopefully, this will be our last meeting to get this up and running. The small business, the last time we had talked, there was questions about the number of employees that would be qualified under this policy, and we hashed it around and thought, well, maybe 10 employees, if this company doesn't have 10 employees, but they've been in business over 10 years, the number of years they've been over 10 years, we can qualify the number of years in business as an employee. Does that make sense? Yeah. That way, if some of the smaller businesses don't have 10 employees, but they have 3 or 4, maybe they've been in business 15 years, that 5 years count as their 5 employees. The other issue we talked about was the franchise business and corporations that are not eligible. We have been in discussions on this and maybe identifying small corporations, and I'll probably get Chris Varial to help me out that on the size of different corporations, small, medium, and large. The one thing we were talking about, Mr. Vela and I, was a small corporation with a gross revenue of $1 million. If they have more than $1 million corporation and they make more than $1 million, they do not, something less than sales. So those are the things, the changes we made just before you for any more discussion and any more direction from the board on how to implement this.
Any questions? Okay, like we had discussed, the one that really is going to bring a lot of headaches to you is going to be that franchise businesses or corporations are not eligible. So make sure that you really review that line item and you establish a parameter of who qualifies as a corporation, because you have a lot of small businesses that are incorporated, but they're not a big corporation, like let's say a Whataburger or a Dairy Queen. Those Dairy Queen's a franchise, but it's a big corporation that makes millions of dollars a year in gross sales. So I think we really need to fine tune that area, because we don't want you to be put in a predicament and then come to the board and put us in a predicament that we're going to have to define what a corporation is and what isn't a corporation. So please work that line item out to better set a parameter for it, okay? Or a definition, I should say.
So with our action today, will this be moving forward? So
Yes, I
businesses
think
can apply?
June 1st, we can start, roll out the program, and we've been getting applicants already in, so
Good,
just
good.
kind of giving them information on what the requirements are to be in, and giving them a heads up so we can.
Okay, any other discussion? All right, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion by Mayor Molina, second by Councilman Torres. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item approved. Number 7, discuss and consider authorizing the executive director to enter into an agreement with Valley Central for the Love the Locals and geofencing campaign. Mr. Trevino.
Yes, Mr. President, members of the board, this is a marketing television ad program that I want to incorporate along with the small business incentive program that we did. There'll be something additional, possibly with the applicants that we get in, that we offer some additional promotions for them with Channel 4 on their Love the Locals campaign. And not only them, but other businesses in Edinburgh that we want to reach out to and highlight on some of these commercial spots.
All the businesses.
All the
in
business, yes, that are here in Edinburgh. But it's something to, I think would be very successful, and the local business would really appreciate that.
I think so too.
Yeah, I like it. Looks good.
'Cause there's
And it's $2,000 a month, and I think we can get a lot of traction on this.
I think so. I think that's a great idea. Very good idea. Any discussion? So this would be considered in our marketing budget.
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
sir. It'll be part of the marketing budget.
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion by Councilman Salinas. Do I have a second? I'll second. Second by Councilman, second by Mayor Molina. Any further discussion?
Just clarification, this is dedicated all to our local business.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Definitely.
great.
All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item approved.
Thanks, Joey.
I see a theme here going on with Harlingen.
I've seen 2 quarterback sneaks already.
All right.
Well, you said you want to annex Harlingen, so I think we're going around.
Don't say that. It'll be out there. All right, item number 8, discuss and consider approval of a sponsorship for the South Texas Film Festival.
Mr. Chairman, Letty Lehaven with our Library and Cultural Arts is here to give a presentation on this festival.
Good evening,
Mrs.
Mr.
Leha,
President.
Thank you.
Yes, and members of the board. We have a little, first of all, we're going to show you a little video, a little wrap-up video of our, this 2017 South Texas International Film Festival.
Welcome to the South Texas International Film Festival. Oh yeah, come join us, man.
This festival was created to showcase the work of visionary filmmakers from all over the world, and today we are pleased to welcome filmmakers from Portugal, Germany, and Mexico to our festival.
It's not like some other festivals that have been going on for 70 or 80 years, and they're like blasé. It's like, oh, yeah, another film festival. Yeah, whatever, man. You know, this is new. This is exciting. This is happening right now.
I absolutely love the festival. I was lucky enough to be here all 3 days. Started off great with the grand opening, and every day just exceeded what came before it.
This festival, outstanding. And if you haven't attended it, then you're missing out. I mean, where else can you see great films from all over the world for free?
The South Texas International Film Festival is one of the newest premier film festivals in Texas right now.
I was able to attend several workshops that were great.
They're bending over backwards to keep the arts alive here, and not just keep them alive, but make them thrive.
I learned a lot in the editing workshop with Lawrence Geis. Terrific guy. He really knows what he's talking about.
Check out the makeup workshop. It was really good. Yeah, I like that.
Every workshop was packed. Every screening was packed. It's been incredible. I've loved every single second of it.
We just finished doing an event that's called The Pitch. It was really good. We got an opportunity to talk to some the members of the jury, Sandra Avila, Pepe, and of course Valente Rodriguez.
It was great to hear feedback right there and then.
The experience of what it felt like to pitch a feature-length screenplay to a panel of people who could possibly produce it, and that's excellent experience. That's an excellent type of lesson that people down here need.
It's been a great time. People were so warm and inviting and just took care of us.
Everyone here was really friendly, and all the directors looked like they were very professional.
The people are really kind and helpful and eager to want you to participate and engage you to the film festival.
They are so polite and they are amazing people.
When I left here in '87, there was nothing like this going on.
Big thank you to the City of Edinburg and the people who have sponsored this festival.
Giant thank you to the City of Edinburg for hosting such a wonderful festival for the 3rd year in a row.
And this is definitely the place to be. A lot of great people.
Thank you, city and citizens of Edinburg. You're the best people.
We hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next year.
And that was the South Texas International Film Festival 2017. That was our 3rd annual. We're getting ready for our 4th. And so just want to share a little bit of information. Our film festival is strives to showcase the work of visionary filmmakers from around the nation and the world. It's based here in Edinburgh, Texas. The festival showcases local, regional, national, and international films that have a unique voice and style. As of Friday, we had received 106 films representing 19 countries. Our submission deadline is June 8th, so we'll exceed that number pretty soon. But I think we already have. We strive to bring together local filmmakers and artists to help connect the South Texas film industry with the world. I don't know if you know, but more and more people are filming here in the Valley. I know that, a lot of people come and film in Austin, but the Valley is now becoming a very popular place to film, and we just wanted to tap into that and to make Edinburg a film-friendly city. We have, of course, as you saw in the video, we have film screenings. We have everything from short films to feature films, and we are especially looking for those regional films. We have a lot of local filmmakers. We also focus on student filmmakers and national and international. We thought, once again, thinking about economic impact and jobs, we thought, hey, let's not just show movies, let's actually help the filmmakers, the local filmmakers that are here. So throughout the year, just like when we prepare for our job fairs and we educate them about the resumes and all of that, we have quarterly filmmaking workshops. This year we've been doing a lot of the pre-production and getting ready for the production. And then when we actually have the festival, we have workshops there as well. And these are just some of the ones that we're going to be having at our 2018 International Film Festival. We also have panel discussions. We've had groups coming in from LA where they talk about their movies. We've been very lucky to have some of the Valley's actors that have been now gone on to either New York or LA have come back to be part of our festival, and they've shared how they were able to be successful. In that first panel, the one in the light blue shirt, that's David Barrera from San Juan, and in the bottom one, the young lady there is Sandra Avila from Edinburg, and she's a producer. She's a movie producer. For this year, one of the things that has helped also to bring attention to our festival is that we bring in celebrities. Most of them have been local that are now, like I said, being successful. This year, we've contacted Esai Morales and Lou Diamond Phillips because we want to do a La Bamba reunion. And, of course, focusing on Latino actors. And another one that has been contacted is Jacob Vargas. We're waiting to hear from them. We're hoping that they say yes. It's a great opportunity to showcase our city. Like I mentioned before, we want Edinburg to be a film-friendly city. What that means is that the city, we have three things that we have to do. We have to take pictures of the city. The chamber has already done that when we started 3 years ago when the young representative from Texas Film Commission came. We have to attend a workshop. I already attended that workshop. And the third thing is the city has to pass some guidelines making the city of Edinburg film-friendly, and we're working on that. That means if we make it film-friendly, that means more people, more filmmakers are more likely to come to the city to film films here. We'll make it easy for them. The benefits of a film festival, of course, it promotes tourism, it showcases new talent, it promotes networking among the filmmakers. That's why we have these workshops. We want to connect people. We want to connect actors with filmmakers, with caterers, because it's a whole business. So we want to connect all of them. And we encourage community, and like I said, it benefits local merchants. And I want to show you the future. South by Southwest, actually I found out, is 31 years old, and Sundance is 40. When South by Southwest started, they were thinking they were going to have 100 people show up to their film festival. 700 showed up. When we did our first film festival, it threatened to rain, so we had a low number. We had 800. So we were already up from South by Southwest first time. So can you imagine how well we will be doing in 30 years? So it's a process, but look at those numbers, and this is all about economic impact. South by Southwest in 2017 created an economic impact of $348.6 million. So, I mean, those are big numbers. So, it takes time. I said South by Southwest is 30 years old and Sundance is 40, but we've already started, and we're on our way. So we're excited. Every year the numbers keep growing. Last year we're excited to have filmmakers coming in from Germany and Portugal and Mexico. This time around we have a lot of people also, that are submitting their films, and we hope that they can join us as well. So it's something that can turn into something really big. I know that we just had our first music fest. We kind of started kind of small to figure it out, but we're thinking at one time it'll merge, but we will start incorporating other types of music to merge it with the film festival. So we were just, that's a little try, we tried it with the Conjunto Music, but it will all be in the future to tie it into our film festival as well. But we have to start somewhere.
Yes, so the people that show up, like all the guests that we bring down, do they stay in Edinburgh?
Yes, they do. That's
So
number
nobody
one.
stays in McAllen?
Nobody stays in McAllen. They're all about
everybody's-
Edinburgh.
okay,
Actually,
everybody's here.
We love our partners. Number one partner is the Holiday Inn Express, but also the Marriott, and when it's always about, and we've worked also with Best Western, and we make sure that they stay in Edinburgh.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's very important that they do. So that brings us to our request. This year, we're requesting $20,000. Most of the money is going to be used to help
How much are you
brand
requesting?
20,000.
20, okay.
And most of the money is going to be used to brand the film festival a little bit more. Last year, you probably noticed we used the citrus and we added the International Film Festival there. Well, we want to add a little bit more to the downtown area. We definitely want a street banner. We want some of those poles with the hardware that we can put the banners really nice that will tell people the film festival's about to be here. We want some teardrop banners to put at the entrance. As you know, the Edinburgh Conference Center is a little hidden, so we want to put two at each entrance so people, it will direct them to the conference center. But most importantly, our stage and step and repeat. You know, just recently, McAllen at their PAC Center, the Performing Arts Center, they had something called the Pounds for the high school students and they had a wonderful step and repeat, a wonderful red carpet. We need to outshine that, and we need to continue to grow on our film festival because we do have a red carpet event, and we want to make it really nice. As you saw on the video, we already have the stage and an entrance. We want to continue to build on it because ever since day one, I've always said, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And we strive to give the film festival that look, that modern look that's going to encourage filmmakers to come. When the group from LA came, the second film festival, they said that, of course, they have hundreds of film festivals that they can choose from where they're going to submit and go to. And they decided to come to Edinburgh because of the website we had and the look that we had. It had that look that not only was inviting, but was modern. And so that all makes a difference, the branding of the film festival. Of course, we need a little bit of money for the celebrities. Promotion and marketing is always needed money for that. Hospitality, when they come here, they have to come, they have to pay to get here to Edinburgh. For the filmmakers that are part of the official selections, we offer one room, but then sometimes, like the group that came from LA, they had like 8 people with them. So they rent out other rooms, they rented cars, they ate at the restaurants. So it brings in a lot of people, people that actually go to our restaurants and stores and gas stations. And of course, we also have our beautiful awards. This here is a bronze award created by McGill. It weighs a lot, and because it is made out of bronze, it's called the Eddie for Edinburgh. So this is what they get for the feature awards, and for the short films, they get a glass award. And so that is our request. And I hope that...
Ms. Letty, tell me again what the stage, step, and repeat is. What is that again?
You know when you go to, when you go to an event, a red carpet event, and they have that where you step and you take a picture and the people are taking, that's a step and repeat. But the stage that I'm talking about is when you go to, when you're sitting there and the big presentation, well, like the mayor's state of the city, when they had, you have the screen, and then you have the nice stage stage panels that they have, because it all gives it a look.
Right.
The look that makes it special, that makes it modern.
And so we don't have this right now.
Right. What we do is we work with Santori Displays. He's an excellent person. Most of and he's the one that has been working with us to give it that special look.
So with this $4,000, you're purchasing your own that you'll be able to use not only for this, but for other functions?
No.
Or this is just
That's
to
what you'll
rent?
make it look, yes.
This is just to rent?
Yes, it's to rent. And every year he continues to grow it. And we do use some of the panels from last year, and he adds to it. it is a little expensive.
I was gonna say $4,000, and this is a one-time rental fee? I mean, you only use it one night out of the 3, or one day
The-
out of the 3?
The good thing about that is that everything is in pieces, so he saves some of those items, and then we can reuse, and as we continue to build. Because like some of the things that we use, let's say for the stage the first time, we can use it, we can use it at the entrance the next year. And then we continue to build on it, because signage and those kind of panels are really important to give it that look.
Okay.
Any additional questions?
Any questions?
Becky, why don't we use the auditorium here? I
Okay.
see as your locations.
Well, thank you for asking. We did the very first year. It cost a lot of money because we needed to bring in, I think it cost like $3,000 to bring in a screen, because you have to have a certain screen to be able to film. That year, we actually turned this into like a little VIP kind of screen area as well. And we realized that in trying to do all of that, you do also spend money. One of the things that we will be doing, and you'll see in the little pamphlet that was given, we do kind of travel Edinburgh, so they do get to know, because the first day we have our opening night at the UTRGV PAC Center. The second night will be at the Bistro, and then with a little industry reception at the Echo. Actually, 2 of the films submitted were actually made at the Echo, about the Echo. And so that's kind of interesting. And then we're back at the Edinburgh Conference Center and at the university on Friday, and for workshops and panel discussions and the industry expo. And then on Saturday, we're there again with the reception there. And it just makes it easy because they have a lot of breakout rooms. Because when we're there, we have what we call the industry expo, where we'll have people that have cameras, that do different things, that they're showcasing what they have, their services, like the makeup artists or whatever. And then while workshops are going on in other rooms, and screenings are going on in other rooms. So there's multiple things going on at the same time.
So we actually save money by not having it here.
Actually, yes, because we have to bring in a special screen and all
That's
of
the
that
major
stuff.
cost, the screen that we would have to bring in.
Yes. And plus, we need areas where we can have multiple breakout rooms. And the PAC Center, we use like the mariachi practice room. We use some of those other rooms there as well.
Do we pay for the conference center, or is that one of our days that we?
It's
we
one of
get?
it's one of the city's days, and we just pay like for the linens and the other extras.
We still have to pay for something?
The
We still have to pay?
like for the linen, security guards, and things like that. But it's not like if we paid for the whole thing, but we still have
We
to
paid
pay
for the conference center, then we think some kind of
I know.
incentive.
All these, these 106 movies, and hopefully there's gonna be more. Do you all put out like a list of all the movies, maybe by genre, or like the action movies, the horror movies, and stuff like that, to make it easy for everyone?
Yes, and we're getting ready to, as we close, we're getting ready to have our official selections where we choose, narrow them down the top best in the different categories, and then we'll have different like we'll be screening some one day and another. We're gonna kind of stagger them, so if you missed them one day but you want to come on another day, you can still catch some of those, and then we'll be able to let you know what they are.
So you choose some out of this 106?
Mhm.
Not everybody, so how many do get to be shown?
Well, usually, I'm gonna say about 20 films.
And who chooses those 20?
We do have selection committee, and then the selection committee chooses the top, this time I think we're gonna choose a little bit more, and then they go to our industry experts. In the past, we've had people from, Jonathan is here. You wanna share with some of our industry experts?
Sure. One of the goals that we had is after 7 years, a film festival can apply to become an Academy Award qualifying film festival. And to do that, you have to follow a whole lot of rules. And we want to make sure that our film festival is as professional as possible right from the get-go. So we do have a full board of people who select films. So that's out of a number of people. And then of those people, of those official selections, then we have industry experts who judge. We try and get people with different expertise. So we have people who are producers, directors, actors, that sort of thing. we've had really, really great industry judges in the past. We had a producer from Blumhouse, which is one of the biggest horror production companies, producing companies right now. We've had, a whole range of people. So we're trying to be as professional as possible with our goal towards the future and making this, a professionally recognized industry festival.
And we had, for example, we had Javier Chapa. He's originally from Edinburgh, the San Manuel area. Now he's a producer in LA. So he was one of our judges. We had Raul Castillo from McAllen. He's an actor and he's in New York. He was one of our industry judges. So we try to get people that are actually, most of them are either in LA or New York, and we send them the films, the ones that we allow them to see them, and they're the ones that make the final selection.
Okay, so out of the 106 participants that provide us their film, right? How many of these actually show up to our festival? All of them, or only a percentage?
No, only a percentage. I know in the past, last year we were happy because we got somebody from out of the country, which was Karsten from Germany and Portugal.
So last year, how many of the participants did show up to the festival out of the 106?
We narrowed it down to about 15 films. And out of those, maybe like 8 of them showed up, maybe?
Okay, so 8 showed up. Do we have, and I don't see it here, maybe you do it, but I don't see it in the benefits of the film festival to the city. Do we have like a block of maybe 2 hours or 3 hours where you showcase our city to those participants? Do you take them around our city to show them all the great things that are going on in our city?
That's why I want to make the Edinburgh the film-friendly city before our next one in September, so that we can also push that we're a film-friendly city.
So, but do you tour the city?
Yes, actually,
with,
yes, we did.
With
actually,
those people?
Our chamber, when they got here, that's why they said that we were very hospitable, because when they first came, the chamber actually took them on their bus and they took them throughout the city. And
okay, great.
They did like a little tour.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we do something that if we choose their film, they need to come, something like that? Can we make that kind of like a prerequisite? Like, are you able to come if your film is chosen?
Well, I think that we can make it part of the. I'll look into it because we.
That would be better to have the people that we're actually showcasing actually here.
There's for some of the aspects we can't make it a prerequisite if we do want to qualify for future things. But we can, one of the things we've been talking about now is making it easier for those people to come. So finding the people that are more likely to come and contacting them, getting them all the information early so they can book flights earlier for lower cost. And that's been helping a lot of people. We found that contacting the people early and getting them the information makes them much more likely to come because of the lower cost of travel. But I think that we can, depending on what the competition is, maybe there are certain films that are specifically in competition for the major prizes. And those ones, I don't know for sure. We can look into it. I don't know for sure if we can make it a prerequisite. But because it's a new and evolving film festival, we can develop different programs that do have that as a requirement.
That would be good.
Yeah, I think so too.
I just wanted to add that I know in Austin, South by Southwest, you cannot touch a hotel within a 25-mile radius of where it's going on for under $250. That's what makes it so appealing for Edinburgh. They can come over here. It's very cost-effective, very friendly, and I'm glad that you're doing this and taking the opportunity of the affordability that we have to offer here. And I just want to make sure that we showcase our city and everything that we have in this city to them, because, as you said, there's filmmakers coming down to the valley.
Yes.
To go ahead and do that, and when they do that, they take into consideration the expense of the food, the lodging, and it's basically half the price or even better than that than going anywhere else where the cost of living is so much more expensive. So that's good. It's exposure for all the way around. And I know it's a lot of hard work, but yeah. That's good.
I just want to let you, you're going into your 4th year. I remember attending, I don't know if it was the 2nd or 3rd, but it's fantastic. You all have been working very hard. Is there any way you can showcase some of these awards to our community? Is that possible to integrate that? So that if you have the 4 winners or whatever your big winners are, I don't know the contents, maybe, what they may show, but so our community can see which one won and so forth.
I know that this past year we did do like a post and we showed all the winners at the library. And people did come in to see the winners. Because a lot of people went to go see the official selections, but then they really want to then see the winners of them. So we do afterwards, we do showcase
Maybe try to
them as well.
expand that in media or some way or some shape or form.
Yeah, and I'm very happy, that we're working very well with Carrie, and so that we can continue to promote all our festivals. And I know that she's going to do a great job with this one as well.
But the actual films that win, so that people can see the quality, because I've seen it, and you see it in the clips that you give us. But I think our community your attendance will go up so much higher if they actually see it, because it's good stuff, and that might be something that's going to put you over the top.
And that's why we also want to encourage people to attend the film festival. We want to do a lot more promotion. And actually, now that you mentioned that, we already have started promoting our little hype video early, so that we can get people to start saving the date and thinking about it, so they can, because then always people say, I didn't know you had it, or
For some of your previous winners, I mean, just so they can see the quality that I've seen, so that it can really help. So just a food for thought.
What's the time limit on these little films? Like, how long are they?
The short films can be anywhere from what we've seen is from 4 minutes to 30 minutes.
Anything below 40 minutes is considered a short film, and we're going by the standards for the Academy of Motion.
So you're saying we're going to pick 20 more or less out of the 106, and last year you had 15. Are we picking such small amount because of the time constraints?
Yes, and that's why we added a day. Now, South by Southwest is 14 days. We moved to 4 days. We moved to 4 days, but that was one of the reasons we needed more time to show more the movies. So that's why I'm saying that this year we're probably going to pick a few more.
So how many days out of the 4 will be screenings?
We'll have screenings all 4 days.
All 4 days? Okay.
Yeah.
And we're getting, as soon as we get the final selections, then we're going to go ahead and start the schedule with plenty of time so people know what films are coming up. And then we'll start probably showing some of the trailers to get the people excited about some of those films.
Right. All I can say is that the money that you're requesting for is well spent on our part, only if we provide our businesses the opportunities to be able to sell to these participants and the people they bring and their families and what have you. So it's important that we encourage these participants to attend the festival and to stay in Edinburg, eat in Edinburg, and so we can give back to our business community and reap the benefits of the sales tax. So I encourage you to encourage them to come to our city and really have a good economic impact on our sales tax.
And actually, before they come, we'll have ready for them a list of when they come, sometimes they'll rent cars, so where they can go. We want to talk to Enterprise, see if they give them a deal. Some of the rest, we want to give them a list of restaurants. And actually, one of the things that they liked, and one of the filmmakers that came from Chicago, we usually leave them a little folder like this with all the information about restaurants and where things are, so that they know. And the chamber works really closely with us on that, and so he was very appreciative of all of that.
Oh, good. Anything to make it easier for them, because I know when they come down, they want it as easy as possible, because you lose a lot of time searching for stuff. So if it's there right in front of them, then they're more receptive to going eating in our restaurants, buying at our stores, and so on and so forth. So that's a very good idea.
That's very important to us. Can I show you our little hype video before you vote?
Sure.
Okay, let's. And this is just to save the day, so people start getting started posting that on Facebook.
Brings up another question. Do you partner with our school district, with our fine arts departments at our schools?
Well, yes, we actually talked to Nelly over there at as the fine arts director, but I know that we do have to touch base a little bit more because we see submissions from other school districts, and we haven't seen any submissions from Edinburgh.
That's not good.
No, and we want to encourage them and
Mr.
to
School Board
come,
Member.
to just come to the event so that they can at least get some of the feel of it, because this is an opportunity. They might not be able to go to South by Southwest. This is why we created it.
Right.
Because for the people that are here, you might not be able to go to Austin, but we have it here in Edinburgh.
And we have a lot of talented students in our school
Yes,
district.
we do. And we are
Very talented students.
Could you call the superintendent tomorrow and set up a meeting?
He doesn't answer his phone.
I'll go ahead and will you call me tomorrow and I'll
Yes,
set
sir.
up a meeting so we can really, because there is a lot of talent.
There is.
There's a lot of talent. There's a
We've
lot of
seen
talent.
some of the other school districts, and I know that Edinburgh has
Oh,
much
yeah, we're
more
superior
talent.
by far.
Yes.
But the thing,
Of course.
I'm joking. The thing is that this is something that really want to give these kids an opportunity. I mean, who doesn't want to be on film or who doesn't want to be a part of this?
And actors,
Yes.
and actors and makeup
then also,
artists.
the mariachis, were those for the Edinburgh School
Those
District?
Edinburgh North.
Okay, Edinburgh North, okay, good. Because that's something we like to showcase. And the mayor did a beautiful job showcasing that on the State of the City, and I appreciate him showcasing the school and partnering up and being positive with them,
Yes.
which is a big plus.
The-
Yes, if you could please give me a call tomorrow and we'll get that set up so we can get this ball rolling and
Yeah,
get them in there.
It is important that we make every effort to communicate with our school, because last year, or not last year, it was after this, maybe it was in October, November. I had a couple of students from Robert Vela come to my office to film. They were doing a film, and they came to my office to film a scene. And I asked them, I said, hey, did y'all go to the film festival? And they had no clue about it. And these were sophomores, freshmen and sophomores that were producing this film for Vela. And I was shocked that they didn't know that there was a film festival here in Edinburgh. So I think it's important that we communicate with the school district and really maybe if it go to the fine arts classes there at each high school and talk to them directly. I don't think they would mind that because if you go to the administration, that doesn't mean it's going to filter down to the people that need to hear it. So
Yeah, I'll definitely touch base so that we definitely want them to go to the film festival so they get a feeling of the festival, but also so that they can submit and get ready to submit. That's why we extend our deadline until the end of May, and this year we even extended it to June because we're waiting for those student films. And that's what we want, and that's why we have a new category for student films. So yeah, it's important.
So let's do it before before Friday,
Let's do it tomorrow.
okay?
I'll call you.
Or tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
all right,
Thank you.
Letty, I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Where do you get your celebrity guests from? Where do you get that list?
Well, let's say, for example, I know with SIE, actually Lonnie's our contact for SIE, and with Jacob, Sandra Avila, the producer she's part of our board. She's the
Okay.
one that has contacted before. I always wanted to have celebrities that are from the valley that are doing well over there. So the second year we kind of lucked out with David Barrera from San Juan. The first year, Raul Castillo from McAllen was very supportive, and he was our celebrity. This is then last year Hurricane Harvey did a special on us, and Efren, the gentleman who was Vote for Pedro Ramirez, he was our celebrity guest, but because of the hurricane he couldn't come, and Valente stepped in, at the very last minute. So thank God, and he's from Elsa. So, but
I really, really like Valiente.
he's adorable.
He called me a mayor
I
6 months
know.
before I got elected. So I want to see him back for sure.
I know you like it.
You got to bring him.
Yes.
For sure, I got to see him back. So we're only going to get one. We're either going to get Bob from La Bamba, Richie from La Bamba, or is it all of them?
We're hoping to get Esai and Lou Diamond Phillips
And
to
Lou
do
Diamond Phillips.
to do a La Bamba reunion.
Awesome.
If that, and we're waiting,
Gonna be fighting.
Lonnie's waiting, and to hear back from them, and Sandra is waiting to hear from Jacob. Jacob, I don't know if you recognize him. He was A.B. Quintanilla in the Selena movie. He's done Sons of Anarchy. He has a long list of acting.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that movie. I watched it about 3 weeks ago, and I told my wife, don't cry. And at the end, she does it every time. I'm like, we've seen this movie like 80 times. She still
Tell him
cries.
he might be here.
Yeah, at the end of the movie. Not my Richie.
Well, thank you very
All
much.
right,
for your
anything
time.
else? All right, thank you. Anybody else would like to comment? Because we're making
But
a
Valiente
decision.
is going to come back, right?
Of course he is.
All right.
Motion to approve.
I'll definitely
Second.
invite him.
For the $20,000?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a motion by
I thought
Councilman Torres for
I thought it was not 2,000?
for $20,000. We have a second by Councilman Salinas. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item approved. You're welcome. Number 9, discuss and consider approval of sponsorship for the Edinburgh Chamber of Commerce, Texas Cookham High Stakes event.
Mr.
Mr.
Chair, just
Trevino.
for the record, I do sit on this board. I was advised by our attorney that I have to abstain from voting on this item. Just for the record.
Okay, so Mayor Molina will abstain from the voting. Mr. Trevino?
Yes, sir, Mr. President, members of the board. Ms. Letty Gonzalez, President of the Edinburgh Chamber, will be making a presentation on the Texas Cookham High Stakes. Oh, not Letty.
Good afternoon, President and the members of the board. For the record, my name is Alex Rios, and I'm the chairman of the board for the Edinburgh Chamber of Commerce. Just wanted, before they do the presentation, just wanted to comment that I've been serving this nonprofit for 20 years now, and out of those 20 years, 12 years I've gone to this event. This event brings, 5,000 to 10,000 people at a time to our great city. We have cooking teams that come from all over the state of Texas and even outside of the state, and of course promoting our tourism as well. Behind me we have, of course, our president, Letty Gonzalez, our marketing director, Rani Laralde, and our board member, and also vice chair of events, JJ Flores. I want to just thank you for the partnership you've given us in the past. We've done some great things, and this year will be no different, as you will see a video here in a minute. But thank you once again for the partnership you guys have given us in the past.
Welcome.
Good evening, President and board members. Like Alex said, my name is Ronnie Laralde. Texas Cookham High Stakes, this is our 13th year. It'll be taking place on July 6th and July 7th. And kind of give you a little history about Texas Cookham. Over 13 years ago, the Chamber, along with a few city council members, wanted to create an event on the 4th of July weekend that was going to be beneficial to the city of Edinburgh and promote tourism and quality of life. And we said, what's better than a barbecue cook-off and fireworks on 4th of July? So they took a trip to the American Royal in Kansas City and said, why can't we have something like that? So from the first year, Alex can attest, he was there. We had, I guess, maybe 50, 60 teams, and we've doubled in size, and we've increased a lot of exposure to the city of Edinburgh and another barbecue world that is just catching storm right now with in the United States. So basically, we've teamed up with the Steak Cook-Off Association. There's actually a points chase for this, so these cooks compete from across the country. It's kind of in a nutshell like NASCAR. They're chasing points at different cities, and one of these big events is us. We have last year we had 127 teams come from across the state of Texas, and like Alex said, a few other states. just to give you a little information, 90 we're outside of the Edinburgh area. Cooks coming as far as Houston, Lockhart, League City, Carrizo Springs, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Kingsville, Sugar Land, just to name a few. In years past, we've had cooks travel as far as Colorado, Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, and Florida. And the Steak Cook-Off Association that actually monitors this event and IBCA, SEA has grown to about 150 domestic and 20 international events that are outside the states, including Mexico, Canada, the UK, Australia, and this year they're going to enter in Japan. And of course, they have a world championship in Fort Worth in October. I'm proud to say that Edinburgh is their biggest event. So we are the biggest steak event that they oversee in the world. So just kind of give you a little bit more input on the event itself. It's a big event. It's very hot. I know a lot of y'all have been there for that event. But it's $30,000, which the cooks enter in prize money, and to compete. They compete in steak, they compete in brisket, they compete in chicken and pork spare ribs. And at the end of the day, we crown a champion, awarding $30,000 in prize money. Of course, there's a lot of activities that go around during this event. We have fireworks for the city of Edinburgh. We also have, this year we're bringing an alligator show that, has live alligators that the community is able to interact with and take a picture, and some of them carry. It's a great show for the kids. We also have live music throughout the day. We have arts and crafts. We have food vendors, and of course, everything is centered around this championship cook-off. That we also have the public partake in it and help judge this event. As far as economic impact, we've reached out to. Of course, we have a big relationship with our hoteliers here in the city of Edinburgh. We've established a hotel motel association, and here in Govan that sits on our board has done a great job on that. We've created relationships with them as far as we've teamed up with our hotels and reached out to our competitors that are coming from across the state to stay at our local hotels. We've even given them state codes as far as we know that we can track that they're staying in our hotels. Also with our local partners in our meat markets, we've established relationships. Of course, HEB is a big sponsor of this event, providing all the ribeyes for this event. And Aguilar's and Veras, we've established good partnerships with them where they put in packages together for these teams that, they get the freshest meat and they purchase it here, and they've actually gone and hand delivered those packages to those competitors and actually sell seasoning on site. So there is a lot of course, on top of that, gassing up here, shopping here. We have a lot of the ladies that don't like to be out cooking and being in the hot sun, so they go and shop here at our local shops here on Trenton, and a lot of additional purchases are taking place in the city of Edinburgh for all our merchants. On top of that, we do have a big headliner on store for that night. We haven't released the name. We finally got confirmation, and we're fixing to in about a week or so, as long as the time frame with this artist. So it is a big event. Of course, the buzz is already has started, and the heat has got here quick. But we're excited about this event and our 13th annual. And like Alex said, it's a big draw for the community. I'm not too sure if Letty or JJ, you want to talk a little bit about it or add on to that.
Ronnie,
if not.
Did you guys decide on a location?
Yes, we did. I'm sorry I didn't say that, but we will be at Edinburgh Municipal Park. And of course, like I said, July 6th and 7th.
So where would the trailers be situated? Where are they going to be parked? All the
on the parking lot. Yes, on the north parking lot.
On the
Correct.
north parking lot.
Each, and the grassy area, yes, yeah. Each participant has a 30 by 30 space. This is kind of a prereq for any type of event, 30 to 30 or 40 by 40, that we need to provide, for them enough cooking space. And you've seen some of those trailers, the rigs themselves, so those barbecue pits are huge. And of course, a good size of that area is taken by a tent.
Were we able to get rid of that mound that was causing a problem? Remember, we talked about that one time.
Yeah, we did talk about that. I know it wasn't an issue. It's just we needed to have it moved. It was is it mulch?
Were they going to
Is that
make
what they
that
call it?
happen for you guys?
Yes, and in years past we've worked really well with the PD and Parks Rec, where they're able to accommodate whatever we need. As you guys were there with Fiesta Edinburgh or other festival, we were able to make it work inside the baseball field. So that was something new for us, and it went without a hitch. It worked out for us.
Do you have an invoice? Because it says here, I have attached the invoice, but there's nothing in our packet. Or at least I didn't get one.
It was emailed.
It was,
I'm not too sure if it's a.
I got that letter.
Yeah,
It
the
says
letter
it.
was a request.
Yeah, but it says I have attached the invoice. Do y'all have it broken down kind of like what the library did?
We don't. That's a
Oh,
total.
okay.
I know we discussed this late last week, but we can provide more detailed information, more statistical figures and stuff like that for you. Well, we have entertainment, like these headliners, they do cost a lot of money. We have logistics, which is including, stage lighting, the LED screens that are in the backside that are all part of prereqs for any type of artist that actually comes to play at any venue. We have, of course, a little bit of security, and also anything, alligator show, fireworks, anything special events. So there's a lot of expenses that we do have broken down into. When you add the majority of this, you're looking at close to $125,000 in the full production of the event. So it is a pricey event to have here.
So how much do you raise in sponsorships a year?
In the beginning, I don't know if Letty can correct me, but this event was established by the three partnerships between the Chamber, the city, and the EDC to create an event and a good quality of life event. Through the years, it's gotten bigger, and of course, cost has increased. A good portion of that has been reached out to sponsors like HEB. They put in some of they put in all the ribeyes, so that's kind of like an in-kind contribution. But not a lot of it has come from our local sponsors.
So, how much?
80.
Yes.
Okay, the total. Okay.
Yeah. How much?
87.
87,000?
Yes.
Okay. So the 87 includes the 20,000 from last year?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So that is, and I lost my train of thought. Jeez. That happened.
We gave you 20 last year? Or
Yes, sir.
the EDC helped with 20?
EDC helped with 20. It's totally free this year. No entrance fee, no per person fee. The concert is open and free. Park, everything's free this year.
And what time is the concert going to be at?
So we do the awards at about 6 o'clock. And then after 6 o'clock, it takes about an hour and 15 minutes or an hour and 30 minutes, depending on when they tally everything. So once we do that, the headliner starts going on. So
There's music all day, right? There's bands, different.
there's local
Right.
music all day, but the main bands, there's about 1 or 2 bands before the headliner. And then in between the headliner and the band, there's fireworks. We kind of tend to finger onto the fireworks at the end so the people can stay. So
Yeah. It can be dark.
it'll be dark, yes. Fireworks are pretty pricey too.
So how many teams do we have signed up already? Do we have teams signed up already?
Yes, we have 25 teams signed up, which is we're ahead of our deadline. You know, we kind of measure of what we've had at this point for Memorial Day, and we do have a promotional rate that goes on before this Friday. So we try to capture more teams at the beginning.
What's that cost right now?
The cost for each team is $250. We actually enter them into a drawing to give away, you know, free gift cards and actual spot to select first at stake. So out of the 130 teams last year, there was one person that got to select their stake first, which is a big deal. It gives them a competitive edge. So we try to help, you know, entice them to sign up earlier and to get them in, since I mean we do like to prepare for logistics. It's hard to maneuver 130 teams, 30 by 30 space, and
so that 250 goes up after this Friday?
No. It's 250. It's just they enter into a drawing.
Okay, that's the bonus.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 250 per team. Correct. There's just a perk in entering in before that.
Right.
So,
Right now, it's higher than it was last year, but normally cooks wait to the last minute to get in and register. I mean, they normally do. Some of them just register right on the spot. They'll come into the cook-off. They want to know we have an open spot, you know, and they're there. They're coming like from Austin, San Antonio, and then what are we gonna? We can't turn them away, so we have to. Ronnie has to go out there. I'm not gonna say I do because Ronnie's the one that goes out there and tries to lay out a 30 by 30 space for them.
So all the revenue that you generate and all the expenses that are incurred, does this event break even?
I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think in the 13 years that we've had this event, it's broken even maybe 2 to 3 times. We've lost money, or we'll just be at an even zero. But the majority of the time, I'm not going to lie to you all, we've lost money. But
and what do you attribute to the lack of sponsorship? Because you said that not very many sponsorships from the local community. What do
it's
you
very
attribute that
difficult
to?
because in the past, sponsors were coming from banks, from financial institutions. We were getting 20 for both events, whether it was Fiesta or Texas Cookum. It's when the recession hit, those banks stopped sponsoring the big money, $2,500, $5,000. You know, we would get 10,000 here and there, but when we created this event, it was established by the chamber, the city, and EDC. We went out there to see the American Royal, which is like no other cook-off. If you haven't seen it on TV, you need to watch. And it's more than an event that's going to make us money. It's an event. It's a quality of life event. We wanted to come up with something that'll keep our community in our area for 4th of July weekend. There was really nothing for us to do. People would call us and say, hey, do you have a fireworks show? Well, we don't have that. And it was more about our businesses. Our hotels, we call them, for every event that we have, we give them a code, whether it's Fiesta 2018, I think now it's called Cookum 2018, and they come in and by the time the cooks get here, they have a list of hotels, and all the hotels offer a discount, whether it's 10 to 15, sometimes even go as low as 20% off if you register early. It's about getting heads in beds, because we're here to promote tourism. It's about getting them to eat at our restaurant, so they get a restaurant guide that we've created and developed at our office. You know, it's about them coming, pumping gas, buying cigarettes, whatever it is they're going to buy at that gas station. It's about the men out there, because some women don't want to be in the heat. They want to go eat at a restaurant, want to go shopping, and they want to lay their head on a nice, cool room. And our meat markets, they're very, very happy. I'm not going to lie to you. They sell out of meat. There is no meat for them to sell that weekend.
So why don't those vendors that you just mentioned contribute back to the
They are
event?
now.
They are now.
Veras is a sponsor, and so is Aguilar's.
Okay. What about the hotels?
HEB. The hotels, sometimes they will sponsor, like the Marriott, which is here because he's our tourism, our vice chair of tourism. And if they don't sponsor monetary, they'll sponsor in kind if they have to. Like if our entertainer needs rooms for him and his band, then they'll do that. We've tried, and we're really working on getting other sponsors. I mean, maybe not as big sponsors, but you know, they're slowly but surely trying to come in. But I mean, they were hit hard, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been with the chamber for 30 years, and in 30 years, The financial institutions, they don't. We just had one that decided this year that they weren't going to do it, and that was a $2,500 sponsor. So that's going to hurt our pocket. And, I mean, if we make, I mean, I think we budget to make, we've never made. We'll budget, okay, we're going to make 10, you know, for back to operating our expenses because we have a small staff, we're only 4. But it's about a quality of life event. We've had to realize that it's all about quality of life. It's about putting Edinburgh on the map. It's about bringing tourism. It's about our businesses. And we've gotten, our cook-off is talked about everywhere. When our cooks come, we make sure that we visit each cook and say, thank you for coming to Edinburgh. Thank you for choosing our cook-off. Because we appreciate the business that you're doing here. We appreciate you coming down. I mean, it's expensive for them. Gas is going up. I mean, that was one of the things that happened years ago. Gas went up, and their cooks were like, oh, my gosh. So we came up with an incentive. We're like, if you register before the deadline, we're not going to increase, but we're going to give you a chance to win a gift card. And they love that. I mean, they love the fact that you come up with raffles. I just think Edinburgh is just great for that.
Right. So then the loss that you incur every year on this event, I'm assuming it's coming from your operating budget.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're already starting each year in the hole, whatever that amount is.
Correct. You can ask our chairman and our vice chair, and you can ask them. We get audited.
So on average, what's that loss?
Last year, we were in a red like. Part, yes.
But you guys also charged, because I remember we
We
were in
only charge
campaign mode. and we
$5 per
took-
person.
I took over 50 and Molina took over 100. I remember paying at the door. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm sure.
That's big. So how much was the loss last year?
15,000.
15,000.
And how much was it costing you at HEB Park?
The cost in the HEB Park, they charge you for parking lots. They charge you to use the amphitheater. They charge you for
So
staff.
what was the
and
total cost?
So we're saving 20 plus having it at Municipal Park.
Well, how
It
much
was
was
a
it?
little bit below 30, yes.
How much was it?
A little bit below $30,000.
So you would have made 15,000 if you didn't have it there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So let's try to get out of the red this
Yeah.
year.
I know.
Is that this year's shirt?
As far as the beer sale, do you get any of that? All of
Beer
it's yours?
sales- Beer sales, this year we will. Last year, we could not get anything from the beer sales because it was at HEB Park. They
Okay,
kept the beer
so
sales.
you had a $30,000 bill from them, and plus, you lost all the beer sales.
They kept concessions. So in other words, our vendors, if they were selling hamburgers, we couldn't sell hamburgers. If they were selling funnel cakes, we couldn't sell funnel.
Plus they took half of
It
the
had to be a
entry.
non-competitive item.
Why'd you have it there?
They made like 50 grand at least.
I have it. what's your budget, Letty?
Total budget for the event?
No, total budget for your year, for the year. The chamber's budget for the year. Your budget?
Okay, so do you want just?
I
okay.
just want to know
We have
what your revenue
three
is.
different we have 3 different budgets.
I just want to know what your revenue is for the year.
About 670,000 total, but that's 3 different budgets.
Say that again?
About 670,000, yes.
70,000. That's
But
your
some of our budgets are restricted. You do, like, the budget, hotel motel budget is restricted
Right.
for tourism, yes.
But that includes all the sponsorships, everything that you bring in, generate as revenue.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything's on there.
Right. Any other
No,
comments?
I just wanted to let you know that we don't only do events, but we also do programs that benefit our chamber. So we do a little bit of everything. So
No, and it's time that we work hand in hand with our chamber, because the EDC is promoting business, and that's what you all do.
I'm
You
really
promote
glad about that.
business.
We've heard some positive comments about our businesses that are small businesses. So thank you all very much.
So we're definitely going to work hand in hand with you. Just a matter of time of wrapping our heads around our finances that have been going on for the last 13 years. So once we get that established, and hopefully now with our new CPA that we hired, we'll be able to figure out exactly what we're able to do to help our community and help our businesses and help our economic growth in the city. So I pledge to you as not only the president of the EDC, but as a city council member, that we're going to try everything in our power to get you what you need to operate in a good fashion. And I know the commitment from the council and the mayor is there too, because we've discussed it individually with each other, and I know that we're committed to that. So I just want to assure you that things are going to change for the better, and you're going to see a drastic change from the past to now. So
I appreciate that. Thank you. From the board and staff, we appreciate that.
all right.
I move
Great.
to approve the $20,000 request.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilman Torres, second by Councilman Salinas. Do you want to show that video? Do you want to see the video?
Yes.
Okay.
We were kind of limited, but we were able to put together a little video on.
We'll see the video and then we'll take the vote.
I do want to mention JJ, with Chorizo San Manuel as well. They both together, him and Alex, also helped put on a kids cook-em event that enables kids to participate in this event as well. Last year we had 30 kids from 2 different age groups that help compete, and we give them trophies, and that kind of gets them into the cooking mode, and also develops a cooker for life. So these kids also do participate in our event as well.
Deal.
Pork chops, yeah.
That's good. Just be careful with that alligator event there.
We want
Just be
to
careful with
see
that.
you there. Hold it this year.
What's that?
You can go out there and help carry that alligator this year.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who would love for me to be doing that.
That was just a short little clip.
But before we take the vote, I know that a lot of local teams, they take pride in competing with these big dogs, and some of them have been getting real close. So I know that hopefully they'll come out again, and pretty soon we're gonna have a champ from Edinburgh. They've been trying for years.
We
so-
have a lot of world champions that come out, and just to kind of go off on this, our ultimate goal is to get on a Food Network, on a Barbecue Pitmaster, something that's going to put us on TV and put Edinburgh on the map more so than what it is. We have a lot of cooks that are excited to cook this event. Obviously, $30,000 is a lot of money that they're competing for. But what I failed to mention also is our winner does go to the Steak World Championships as a qualifier. It also goes to the American Royal, and which is it's a qualifier for the American Royal. And so they do take pride, and we do too, when we have a cook that does go out there and put us on the map. And I'm proud to say a local cook, we won't say he's from another city, but he really promotes this event, Fredo Robles, and he went on to compete at the World Food Championships. But we're proud to call him a Valley native, and he has cooked our event time and time again. And he's actually our past two-time champion for Texas Cookem, and he won the World Food Championships this past year in Alabama. So it's a big deal for these cooks. It's a big deal for us, and like them, we also pride ourselves on this event as well.
All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0 with
one abstention to abstain.
With one abstention. Thanks. Thank you.
Just real quick, Mr. Chair, I want to acknowledge the volunteers. Miss Edna, thank you for all that you do. Lonnie, where's Lonnie? Did he sneak out of here? There he is. Didn't see you without your new haircut, but I want to acknowledge you guys. I want to really let you know that we do appreciate you. And also on the chambers, I want to acknowledge Alex, and I want to acknowledge JJ. They put a lot of I just want to let the community know that you all put a lot of time and energy into this, and only because of your passion. People ask us, we try to encourage people, hey, why don't you serve on an advisory board, or why don't you run for council or school board? And, well, how much am I going to make? Is the first question that comes out of their mouth, and we say, well, nothing, you're doing it to serve your community. And they say, nah, well, I don't want to do it, because if I don't make any money, then I'm not going to be making the sacrifice away from my family and, my busy life. So I do want to acknowledge the volunteers. I know that Miss Edna and Lonnie, you guys are passionate about that film festival. I was there last year. And of course, I was at the Texas Cookem last year as well. But I just want to acknowledge those volunteers that make these events possible and that make Edinburg, if nothing else, at least a regional draw. So thank you all.
Right.
Letty,
All right.
but when they were up here talking, do you all offer that hotel discount to people coming in also? What they do for the teams, do you all do that also? Okay. Okay. All right, sorry.
All right, thank you. And any other comments? Okay, item number 10, discuss and consider authorizing the executive director to enter into agreement with MPC Studios for website design. Mr. Trevino?
Mr. President, members of the board, we have been out of contract for a while now on our current website provider. I've been speaking to MPC Studios. They've given us an attached proposal for about $7,200 to redo our whole website in accordance with our new logo contest that will be coming up, and then the proposed monthly website hosting fee is like $125. I think right now we're paying $225 a month with the current Toggle Star. They really haven't been responsive to our older website developer. They've been kind of responsive, but kind of not. I've been real unhappy with them. MPC's got a good resume, and they've done other EDCs within the Valley, chambers in the Valley, so they do know our...
What other EDCs have they done?
I'll introduce Mr. David McDonald to give his resume.
I see Harlingen on here again.
And McAllen. They're out of McAllen.
Hi.
Thank you for your question. We have worked with a large number of EDCs. Arlington, of course, that's my hometown. We've also worked with Mercedes. We used to work with Mission, and we've worked with kind of a wide variety in sizes, so we have some experience. We've also worked with some municipalities and EDCs outside of the region. We work with some folks in Pennsylvania, so we have a little bit of experience with EDC specific.
Is our logo contest still on?
Yes, sir.
Still taking, have we got
We
received
got till
any?
the mid 15th of June.
Have any come in?
They're coming little by little, so. And then, I mean, school is out. So we're trying to make sure, I mean, the last few days, come in and do something. Push those that we've been making.
Let me know.
Okay, so their fees are less than what we're paying right now?
Yes, sir. And I think they're gonna be more responsive, for sure.
I want a web design that's user-friendly. I want everything to be able to, people can see what they're looking for, or find what they're looking for, and not have to go through so many different
Absolutely.
pages in order to get to what they're looking for. So I want something that's easily navigated through, that's going to be, you know, displaying all the good things that are happening here in Edinburgh. So just to keep that in mind when you're designing it, at least that's what I would like to see. I just want something that's friendly, because right now you go in there and it's really hard to navigate with what we have.
Absolutely. We've reviewed the website. I spoke with Nelda to go over some of the pain points and some of the opportunities for improvement. And I also worked with my team, and we have identified a number of things that can be improved. I think what you hit on is probably number one. There's a lot of good information on the website, but sometimes it can be difficult to find. And I think taking that information, making sure it's visible to the community, but also folks that are interested in site selection, so they can find what they need to know to make, about Edinburgh, so they can make those decisions. So that's definitely right at the top of the list. But there are a number of other issues. In particular, mobile responsiveness. Sometimes the website is not so visible on mobile devices, and we have over 100 websites across the Rio Grande Valley, and on average, I think we're seeing upwards of 50% of the traffic being on mobile. So we want to make sure that's not, taking the back seat in these decisions. We want to make sure that people who are visiting the website on mobile can find that same information as easily as possible.
Are you able to provide a service that it would notify the public of an event that we're having, or something that we're having here in Edinburgh?
Absolutely. So I think already they have areas on the website where news and announcements can be displayed, but we can integrate it with other outside sources, such as Facebook feeds or other RSS feeds from other community websites, so that some of those events can automatically be displayed. And that also touches on one of the other pain points. We want to sort of minimize the amount of effort it takes to take care of the website, so that the team at the EDC can focus on their primary responsibilities, and the website can continue to function without having to be micromanaged, and without having to go through as many steps as it takes right now.
Yeah, that's important that we update our website.
As far as on the website, can you do surveys and stuff of that nature?
Absolutely. So there are some tools that we use.
In other words, to communicate with the public and
to
they
get
can-
feedback.
Yes.
Yeah, I already, I think on the website there are forms that, just general contact forms, but we can go even further and add additional pointed questions. And some of the tools that we use would also allow EDC staff to sort of craft those polls. So for example, after an event passes, or if there's some special community announcement that they'd like to get feedback on, those could be generated and put on right away very quickly, either by our team who would be available for support, or even by the EDC staff who would train to use those tools.
Okay, yeah, because I like to take advantage of the opportunity of having one location everybody can get to and get some feedback, or, just get some criticism, good or bad, either way, but just so we can feel the temperature and know what's going on out there.
Yeah, absolutely, because if they're not giving you that feedback, they're putting it elsewhere. They're talking, or they're putting that feedback somewhere. So we want to make sure that we hear it as well.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Salinas. Do you have a second?
I second.
I have a question.
Second by Mr. Farias. Mayor, you have a question?
Yes. I'm looking at this. It's saying the proposed monthly website hosting fee is $125 per month. Then I'm looking at the price and terms. Says the project includes 58 hours for the development of a new website. And then it has a description price. Website design and development, 12 monthly payments. That's $600 a month. And then website hosting following the initial 12 months, hosting and maintenance, $125 a month. So we're paying, just so that I understand how this is working, we're paying $125 per month plus an additional $600?
No, sir. Right off the bat, you'll start off with the development of the new website. It'll be the $600 a month for the 12-month period. After that, it'll go down then to that hosting fee. So that's a base hosting fee to keep the website online and operating and for us to provide support and maintenance for it. The $600 a month is for the development of the new website.
So basically, the total is $7,200 to develop the entire website.
Correct. And essentially, that first 12 months, we're including the hosting for
And
free.
you're including the hosting for those 12 months?
For that first 12 months, correct.
For the first 12 months. Okay. So that, that $7,200, you design something, there's some things that we don't like or we want to change, our fee's not, that $7,200 is still going to be $7,200, right? We're not going to get charged again for redesigning it or changing.
I have two answers to that question. So during our
Well, I
development
hope they're
process,
good answers.
During our development process, we have multiple phases we go through where we do not proceed to the next step until we have approval and feedback from you. And one of those steps is the design phase. So we won't move forward until you guys are in love with the design you have. And we're not going to put in the programming time until we've got that, final approval. Now, after the website launches, I think it's actually pretty critical that we continue to review it and make sure that it evolves. So there is a portion of time, it may not be in the first year. Usually year 2 is where the website starts to kind of age and needs, updates made to it. But at that time, if there is any expense that would be in addition to what you have in front of you, we would come in and propose, here are the recommended changes we would like to do, and here's the budget we think, needs to be allocated for that. But so you have approval before it launches, and then after it launches, if there is any kind of additional expense, we'd seek approval before those were incurred.
Okay, so then that brings up a point. Are we going to allow the ED to make those approvals? Board?
We can have a subcommittee of board members involved in the presentation.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem with you making that decision, but
I can make the decision.
I just want to get some feedback from the rest of the board. I mean, we need to set those parameters now so we don't have an issue later on. Because I don't want this gentleman to come back and say, well, the ED made the decisions and we didn't know that you were authorized to make those decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we need to be specific on who's going to have the authorization to allow this gentleman to move forward to the next steps.
David, is there certain, like, you can come back during another meeting and walk us through this?
Absolutely. So if at the design phase, the board would like to participate, we could bring the design here and do the unveiling and do the initial sort of review, and then you'd have an opportunity to take it back, spend some time thinking about it, and, accumulating feedback that we could then incorporate into the design.
So the design phase is the 8 weeks that you're talking about here at the bottom.
Start to finish, the design phase is just one portion of that. So the very first phase is sort of what we're doing right now, which is developing the scope. What will this project entail? What is the budget going to be? What are we talking about doing? After we have established those parameters, then we have a kickoff meeting where members from the EDC can meet our team and directly convey input about, for example, what they would like to see come out of this project, what designs they have seen, or what kind of colors, that kind of input. Then we go into the design phase, and that's specifically what you're asking. That's a 2-week period, typically, where we take all that input and create essentially a from-scratch design. It's a static image that we present to you, so you can't click on it, it doesn't do anything, but it does reflect what the final website will look like. And at that phase, when we present it, then we are basically asking for feedback. What do you like or don't like about this? Do you want to change the color? Does this little corner need to be round? Do you not like that photo? We take that feedback and we continue to make changes to that design until you love it. Then it goes to programming, then it goes to internal review, launch, and then after the launch, that would be the end of the 8-week period. Now, that is an estimate because oftentimes, for example, if we're waiting for board approval, we'll have to schedule around the board meeting. And the logo contest, right? We would typically expect that branding, work is being done is going to have a big impact on, of course, the
Okay,
design of the website.
but I want to be clear. The total cost to develop our website will be $7,200, regardless of the time frame, regardless of that 12-month period.
Well, it's up to 58 hours of development time, so that's not generally the case. So, for example, I have a pretty good idea of what the scope is right now, but if in 2 weeks somehow that scope were to change, let's say they wanted a new feature added to it, that would be an additional cost to be incurred. And I think there is an item on there that explains there's $125 per hour for additional hours outside of that 58 hours. It should be under that.
Support
pricing
hours
table.
will be billed at $125 per hour in 15-minute increments. Is that what you're talking about?
That's also true, but I believe there's something about overages there as well. That's the same hourly
Okay,
rate.
so then why is it that we're paying 12 payments of $600? If you're going to finish it in an 8-week period,
So this is
why are we paying on a 12-month
This is a standard agreement. We work with all kinds of small businesses, banks, hospitals, and for a lot of the small business partners we have, this is sort of an easier way for them to start one of these projects. And also sort of a feature of our projects is that if anytime you're unhappy with us, we like 30 days notice, but you can certainly cancel the project. And so for many of those small businesses rather, that gives them sort of the reassurance that they're not on the hook for this if they don't like it or if they don't like us.
So basically what you're doing is getting to the $7,200 and spending it out in 12 months.
Absolutely.
So
okay.
initially, we are going to be paying the full $7,200, but in a 12-month period.
And if you would prefer to
All right.
pay it a different way, we can
Well,
make arrangements for that as well.
I would prefer.
Yes, sir.
Here's the issue. Let me just explain something to you, and we're not trying to attack you or. Previously, there was a board here that made a lot of expenses that people were upset about, so they elected this new board here. And we're not trying to be sticklers. We're just trying to find out how much the website's going to cost. We don't want to get hit with an invoice when we're believing we're approving $7,200 for the entire year, and then you send us an invoice for $16,000 or $17,000. Then we're gonna have issues, because if we're doing our budget and we're only earmarking $7,200, now we're going into our savings to make that up on other projects that we're trying to do. So we're just trying to understand this. You're saying there's a 58-hour. How do we know what's past the 58 hours?
Right. And
Right.
and I guess my question to you would be, I need to see what the $7,200 is paying for.
Sure.
An itemization. I don't want to see a $600 a month for the next 12 months. That's the terms. I don't want to see the terms. I want to know exactly where $7,200 of our money is going into this web. If it's web design for $3,000, programming, or I don't know how you break it up, $2,000, and then whatever else, I want to see that breakdown.
Okay,
I want to know exactly how much our web design is going to cost, how much our, I don't know what's the
programming? Development?
If it's programming, development.
Sure.
Whatever.
So I think I understand exactly what you're talking about. Really what we're talking about here is hours. We have a small team of 7 folks. We each have our specialty, for example, a designer or a programmer who spend time on these projects. And so when I'm putting together an estimate like 58 hours, that's based on historically what we've seen for sites of this size. But every project is different, and we're a flexible company, and we flex appropriately. Some clients need additional design time because they have additional pages that require more effort, and some people have more challenging programming tasks. And so every small business we work with has the same concerns you have. Nobody wants to get hit with a bill afterwards saying, hey, I said $7,000 before, but now it's $10,000, pay up or you don't have a website. Absolutely, that's not what I'm trying to convey.
Okay, so then the stages, what are the stages in the web design? Tell me what they are.
So first is development of scope, and I think I have a timeline there that outlines it for you. We set the scope and we develop the content. So number one, we want to make sure we know exactly how many pages we're talking about here and what will be on those pages. And in large part, that's already established on the existing website, although we may have many recommendations for reorganization. to make it easier to find. That could also include any photography that might be included, or documents, diagrams, things that might want to display. So sometimes we can take the demographic information, for example, and create sort of like an infographic, or create sort of charts that might convey that information easier. So that would all be done at that phase.
Okay.
After that's been accumulated, then we go into the design phase, and our designer takes all of that content into consideration and makes the design in Photoshop based on all that input that has been
Okay, so then,
gathered.
looking at your page where it says the process, then I would like to see a dollar amount for content, design, programming, testing, launch, and then the maintenance for that first 12-month,
Okay.
$7,200 terms that you asked.
Okay.
Okay, and then at that point, then I can know exactly, when you're at this stage of the development of the website, this is how much we're going to pay you.
So even in that scenario, if I provide you that budget, when the project goes, when it actually happens, if for whatever reason we're off budget, we're going to notify you right away to say, hey, we need to do something because we're out of the budget here. Because the last thing I want to do, of course, is create a project that I'm not going to get paid for. And you'll notice we do most of the work up front, and we get paid over the course of 12 months. So it's definitely in my interest that you guys are happy. But even if I put together those parameters you're talking about, we'll still have to keep an eye so that each of these phases we're staying within those parameters, because we are just talking about man hours here.
Right, but I still would like to
Absolutely.
know what your budget
Yeah.
is for each one of those items, because then I'm going to tell this gentleman right here sitting to my right, make sure you don't go beyond this amount for content, this amount for design. See what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah, and the terms, in my opinion, we don't need the 12-month thing. We don't need it spread out over 12 months. I mean, if you finish the content phase of it, then we'll pay you the content phase of it. Once you finish the design and it's approved, we'll pay you that design phase amount. I just want to make sure how much, or not how much, where the money that we're spending, where it's actually going.
Sure.
Okay, so that's, at least that's how I feel. I don't know the rest of the
I agree.
the rest of the board.
With the understanding that the 12-month period is already in there included.
Right, for the maintenance.
Right.
For the maintenance.
Yeah.
In other words, that the $7,000 is covering, you mean the hosting for that first
Right, the
12 months,
hosting.
right? Yeah, that is the case regardless, whether you pay us up front or pay us over the course of 12 months.
Right.
So, yeah, I can write that up for you. I can tell you essentially most of these projects, it's half and half split between design and programming, but I can go ahead and give you those numbers, or estimates anyways.
Okay, yeah, send that to Mr. Trevino, and then he'll get that to us.
Okay.
And in the meantime, we can make a motion subject to those parameters.
I want to ask.
Yes, Mayor.
Joey, how much did we spend with Tagle Rock last year? I'm just trying, how much did we spend last year
Nelda, you have that information?
on,
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was just a hosting fee. It was $225 per month for Tagle Rock.
But
And
initially, to
Well,
set up the...
when we had the web design, it was about $7,500.
so the first year we paid 7,500.
Plus the $225 you meant?
Plus $225 a month.
$225 a month on the main.
We did
So how
two
much did we
website
pay
designs.
total in a 12-month span for web design, to include web design and the monthly fee?
Well, the monthly fee didn't trigger until after the web design was completed.
After the first year.
So it's similar to it.
Plus, if we called them for stuff, they charged us another 100.
Now that we're on a month-to-month with them, we're being charged on as needed basis. And so they're charging us for every action they take for us.
Time we pick up the phone with that.
Let's say the logo is going to change now. I know you've been here long enough to understand what I'm conveying. Let's say that we're going to change the logo, and we call Tagle Rock, say we're changing the logo, we're changing the content, we're going to move some stuff around here. Are we going to have that setup fee with them all over again?
That's not the $7,500, but they're charging us about $500 to $600 each time we ask for a change on the website.
I mean, put on or... take off an email or had some issues with the info email on the RFQ for engineers and architects. We had security also issue, and
They were charging us by the hour on that, right? What was that?
well, I mean, we picked up the phone. It was what, $125
$125 to remove emails from the account.
just to remove an email off the web.
$125 to remove an email?
Okay, so any further discussion? All right, so again, the motion should be contingent on getting us that information, the breakdown of the $7,200. And once we receive that, Mr. Trevino will send it to each one of us separately so we can review. If we have any comments at that point, relay them to Mr. Trevino. If not, approval will go through. All right? All right, so do I have a motion?
So move.
I have a motion by Councilman Salinas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Farias. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item approved. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Item number 11, Executive Director's Report. Mr. Trevino, Sales Tax Report.
Sales tax report, actually, we got another good report this last month. We were, net payment for this period is $2,203,439.47. Comparable to last year was $1,969,548. That's a 11.87% change. Payments year to date is $9,429,498.70. And the prior year, we were at $8,858,482. A net change of 6.44. So sales tax numbers are good and ongoing. I think we're ahead for the year, 11%.
All right, great. And it's going to continue to grow.
Great. And then unemployment, we rated the lowest unemployment rate again, 4.6%. Beat McAllen as 4.7, Mission 5.9, and FAR 7.
Great.
Did we beat Westaco, Joey?
Always.
Okay.
Did we beat Harlingen?
We beat Harlingen, that's
All
for
right,
sure.
That's what I wanted to know.
Everybody's here. We're creating jobs. We're creating jobs.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any further discussion, questions on the reports? All right. Do I have a motion to enter executive session? We have a motion by Councilman Salinas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Farias. All those in favor, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mr. Vela.
The EDC Board will convene into executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act to deliberate under the following sections. Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. 551.072, deliberations regarding real property. 551.074, personnel matters. And 551.087, deliberations regarding economic development negotiations. The board will reconvene when it has ceased executive session items.
All right. Thank you. Time is 8:14. Re-enter open session.
Yes, I'll make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Farias, a second by Councilman Salinas. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. For the record, no action was taken on the items discussed in executive session.
What time, Gilbert?
Time is 10:53. For the record, Mr. Torres, Councilman Torres, left the meeting in executive session at 9:15. Okay, we have item number A. Deliberate the offers of financial and/or other incentives to business prospects. We have no action on item A. Item B, deliberate the sale of Lot 6, EEDC Number 1 subdivision, Hidalgo County, Texas.
That's right, we need a motion for the executive director to proceed as directed in executive session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilman Salinas, second by Mr. Farias. Any discussion? This is in relation to the, can you say what it is?
Say whatever you want.
Okay, so, the what?
Regali building?
Rogali.
The, we can say what we're gonna.
You can if you want to.
We can? Okay. So, the Regali building, sale of a property at 1710 Industrial Boulevard, Renaissance Industrial Park. Currently, it's being leased, right? And Rogali would like to purchase. No? Oh, I'm sorry. Not Rogali. Man, there's all these names, man. No, we can't say the name.
Well, you got someone interested in the property.
Yeah, we have someone interested in the property, and we're negotiating a sale on the property. So just FYI to the public.
Right.
And so we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter C, deliberate possible action regarding the lease agreement and option to purchase with Nuco Tool.
Right, we need a motion to authorize the executive director and the attorney to proceed as directed in executive session.
So moved.
We have a motion by Councilman Salinas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Farias. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Letter D, no action. Letter E, deliberate the goals, objectives, and evaluation of the EEDC Executive Director. We evaluated Mr. Trevino for the first 3 months, and the evaluation, the overall evaluation of Mr. Trevino was employee fulfills the responsibilities of present position satisfactory. That was the overall evaluation. And in response to that evaluation, we are increasing the salary from $120,000 a year to $125,000 a year. Terms of the contract is still the same, and all the other benefits staying the same, as well as the number of years.
Right, so we're going to stay with the same term. We're just going to increase
The
his
salary,
pay.
right. Okay, so do I have a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Salinas.
Second.
Second by Mr. Farias. Any discussion? All those opposed, signify.
I do want to make a comment there. Just for the record, surrounding cities are, a little bit higher, but we had a discussion so that everybody knows that we're going to be coming back right before the fiscal year for another evaluation. Just for the record.
Okay.
And for the record, the motion did pass, right?
No, we haven't taken.
Okay.
So all those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item approved. Letter F, there is no action on letter F. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
We have a motion by Mayor Molina, second by Councilman Salinas. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Time is 10:58. Thank you.